gloves. Amanda mentioned up there 12 3-minute rounds. Is that something that was discussed in the contract, or?
No. The contract is 10-2s. I guess that's how it was started. I don't know whether that was a bit of a publicity stunt or what, but interesting suggestion. But I think this is groundbreaking enough. But I'm sure in the future that could be the case.
Eddie, you mentioned that you feel like you get grilled quite a lot by us, especially. So my question to you is, if you were us, the media, and you could speak to anyone in boxing, who would it be, and what would you want us to be asking them?
It's not that, it's just I'm more accessible. So I don't ask you to ask certain questions, I don't ask you to take things down, I don't swerve interviews, but other people don't always get grilled to the questions. I think you do a great job.
Eddie, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, all these years of hard work and building Katie Taylor to this one moment, how does it feel this scientific delivery?
Amazing, really. I think that it's a situation where we've been working so hard for this moment. The proof has been in the pudding of making sure that this is a monster event. What will be a sellout at Madison Square Garden. Not just the biggest female fight of all time, but one of the biggest fights of all time. And looking forward to seeing it in fruition.
Jake Paul's about as passionate as anyone on this fight. How much has he added to this build-up already?
A lot. You've seen with the turnout today. You've seen the pre-sales. I'd like to take some of the credit, but he's definitely a big part of this promotion, and he's working together with us to make the event as big as possible.
How many are you expecting this line ever achieved?
A sellout. Sorry, 19,000. I believe we'll get it.
Just a quick word on the Fury White situation. Obviously, it's a huge, big $30-odd million. Do you think Frank Warren Promotions will be able to make that money back, or is it going to be a loss?
I think it can generate around that numbers. Obviously, a lot depends on pay-per-view numbers. And it's difficult with pay-per-view, with illegal streams and stuff like that, but it's a big fight, and I'm sure it'll do well.
Quick question from behind the gloves. In terms of the rest of the undercard, when can we expect that?
Obviously, we've already got Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas. We've got Cruz against DAZN as well. And we'll be adding a lot of other fights over the next week or two.
Eddie, when Katie Taylor walked into your office all them years ago, did you ever envisage that it would get to this point where Madison Square Garden, full sellout, and women's boxing is just an all-time high at the minute as well? You've got Clarissa Shields, bit of back and forth with Savannah Marshall. Did you ever think we'd get to this point in the sport?
No, quite honestly. I mean, if you'd have told me at that moment we'd be here with this fight, I'd say, definitely that was a tall task. And even last week, when we went on sale, you hope that it'll do well. I wasn't actually expecting it to do as well as it did, but a great moment for the sport. And we keep saying biggest female fight of all time, one of the biggest fights of all time, and I can't wait to see it in action.
How do you see it playing out?
Sorry?
How do you see it playing
I think it's a great fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Serrano's very aggressive. She's going to walk her down. She's a tremendous fighter, but Katie is, for me, the most skillful fighter and the pound for pound number one. I think she wins the fight on points or late stoppage.
We've got a UFC pay-per-view this weekend. I've never seen Dana so quiet the week of a UFC pay-per-view. Has Jake rattled him, do you think?
I don't know. He's got a lot going on, I'm sure, but I'm sure their machine will start later this week.
Do you reckon that he's probably... How would you react if that something came out about you?
I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of the social side of Jake Paul. So, he's relentless.
Let's ask you about Conor Benn saying he'd fight Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, it's a big fight. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Look, Conor would have to go to 154, Eubank would have to come down. Not sure if that's possible, but look, we'd definitely chat to Calla, and it's a big fight.
Last question, guys.
Eddie, even though obviously you're not holding the Dillian Whyte-Tyson Fury fight, how much of a role will you play in Dillian Whyte's corner? Will you be at a potential press conference, sitting on the top table? How's it going to work? Because obviously
I don't think I'm going to be very welcome the promotion, but look, we've worked hard with Dillian for a long time. Up for giving him any support he wants for that fight. We bid for the fight, got a great relationship with him. I just want to see him get his shot and hopefully win. So we'll talk this week, and whatever he needs from me, I'm here.
I appreciate your time, Eddie.